Welcome back to the Layover Podcast, the podcast you can listen to between your travels, when you're dreaming of travels,
or if you're just that little bit interested in the digital nomad, remote work, and travel content creation lifestyle.
My name is Michael, a digital business owner who runs a multi-six-figure business whilst being a full-time traveller, hoping to pass on some of my experience, successes, and failures as a full-time digital nomad.
And my name's Josie, a travel content creator running a travel-based YouTube, TikTok, and everything else social media business, ready to give you a peek behind the curtain of an industry where people don't often give you the whole truth. Welcome back.
Or welcome if you're new here.
No, that's what...
I got in trouble for that joke last week.
Yeah, because it's my joke. Like, I'm meant to say it.
Yeah. Well, that's what happens when you let me run the podcast, which is going to happen today.
Well, yeah, I mean, you can just take a bit more of a lead on this one.
Yeah, it is our podcast, I guess.
Yeah, you should do something.
Anyway, speaking of unpaid work, today we're going to talk about Josie's YouTube journey and how both of us have had a handle in that.
Okay.
No,
before we do start though,
Yes, go.
I saw our plays on our last episode, and I just want to thank everyone for listening.
Yeah, thank you for listening, especially after such a hiatus.
Yeah.
I do think that us talking candidly is a bit of an acquired taste.
Yeah, you either love us or you hate us, I think.
Totally. And
Yeah.
that's quite the way I like it, to be honest. So if you love us, great. If you hate us, that's
Why are you
okay
here?
too. If you hate us, leave a comment.
If you hate us, keep listening.
We're very good at coming
Doesn't
back
matter
at
to
those.
us either way.
This episode is a little bit of an episode today, kind of finding ourselves a little more on track with what the pod is supposed to be about.
Yeah.
Which is helping, well, not helping, sorry. It's more, this is a YouTube and travel podcast and
Yep.
business podcast. That's the kind of core. And when you think about what Josie and I do, that's what we do. It's business, travel, YouTube. Not in that order. The order changes every day.
There's no order, it's just everything at once.
Yeah. So we have spent the last couple of episodes kind of the first episode was introducing ourselves. You can go back and listen to that.
Yeah.
The second episode, I can't even remember what
It was talking about like my Lao video, how I had like it was
kind
like
of
my
like an
best
update.
video, but it was like my lowest views and
Yeah,
then
yeah.
versus my highest views, and then the next one after that was another introduction.
Because we had... Anyway, you guys can go back and hear the reasons why there was such a big gap and why we had to intro again. But now we can get into the meat and bones of the podcast.
I'm excited.
And talk about something that provides some value. And you don't have to be a budding YouTuber or a current YouTuber or a whatever. You don't have to be that to appreciate this. But what this episode is mostly going to be about is kind of what it looks like in the first, let's say, 1,000 subscribers, 50 to 100 videos.
Yeah, basically when you start a channel.
When you start a channel, what it looks like, and some tips and things that you can do. Maybe if YouTube wasn't on your horizon, whilst this will be mostly information around the travel niche, hey, you might be someone that can't travel, but you have information to share, and you wanna start a YouTube channel based on that. This will help you too, because a lot of the advice when you first start out, I feel, is pretty applicable over every niche.
Yeah.
And then as you kind of grow and grow and grow, you need to really be specialists in certain things to shine above the rest. But at the start, anyone can take this on board. And if you're not interested in YouTube, it's still, I personally think, interesting to see how these things work.
I feel like one of my top questions, mostly on Instagram, that's when I have like my chats with people, is like, how did you start? What happens at the start, like, of your YouTube journey, or like when you start a channel? How can I start a channel? How can I do what you do, basically? So this is going to be like tips of basically, or like my experience, our experience with starting a YouTube channel.
Yeah.
Kind of.
So I think the best place to start might be, well, I might actually give a little bit of an intro to your YouTube and social media life before you started your channel.
Yeah.
And then you can tell us about what the first 2 to 6... When did you hit 1,000? You hit 1,000 in like 2 weeks.
Yeah, I did.
Well, we won't talk about the first 6 months, because it took 6 months to jump from 1,000 to 5,000, for example.
Yeah, wow, that was a grind.
So we'll talk about that, because I think, honestly, once you monetized, 1,001 to 10,001 is a very similar game. It doesn't change that much. It's more when you hit that 20, 30, 40 where things you start to go, oh, hang on. So, yeah, 0 to about, 5 to 10,000
which is arguably going to be the longest
the longest time between subs.
yeah,
100%.
time
100%.
of your channel.
There are times right now where you will get 4,000 a day.
Yeah.
And it took you
subscribers.
6 months to get 4,000 subscribers.
Yeah.
The first time you went from 1,000 to... Because you kind of... Yeah, anyway. Off the bat, you did all right in your first couple of videos. Helped you get to 1,000 quite quickly.
Isn't it...
But then it slowed down from there.
Isn't it on average... Doesn't it take like 2 years for someone to get monetized?
Yeah.
Or something like that? Or a year and a half?
And 0.1% of videos get 100,000 views.
Whoa!
So that's always something to keep in perspective. But I'll start the things that helped you get ready for YouTube, that gave you a bit of a, not a leg up, but you kind of knew how things worked. So for those that don't know, the origin of the Josie Lifts Things name comes from Josie being a gym rat back in the day. A swole bra, if you will. A gym junkie.
Okay, we get it. Moving on.
And Josie would lift things.
Yeah, well, yeah, that was
and then
the point.
subsequently put things back down, but that would have made the name too long.
Yeah, no
can't
handle will be that long.
You can't be Josie lifts things up and puts them back down
No,
again.
you can't.
It wouldn't work. So that was how Josie Lifts Things came about. And Instagram was your main platform.
Yeah. It was, basically my only one back then.
Yeah, and you kind of did...
Years ago.
Little local
years before TikTok, before...
Yeah.
Yeah, all of it.
Little local sponsorships with... around fitness. Not little...
Local? Optimum Nutrition is an international brand, and so is EHP Labs.
I always think of your Fitness Meals one, because that was kind of like the one I remember you shilling all the time.
Yeah, so I was sponsored by Optimum Nutrition and EHP Labs.
For those who are unaware... Because I think you forget sometimes that not everyone has been in the fitness industry at some point. Optimum Nutrition is probably the most recognizable name of fitness supplements.
Internationally.
But mainly protein. You might have seen those big 4.5 kilogram jugs. They were the first one to pretty much bring out those big jugs of protein.
I feel like if you're starting to train, the first thing you do is get an Optimum Nutrition tub of protein.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was an ASN 2-for-1 deal.
Oh, there you go.
Me and my housemate got one each. I remember he had a photo with it next to his head because it's like the size of a human head, pretty much this bucket.
Anyway, so that's how I started on Instagram.
But it gave you an understanding of social media.
Yeah.
And I think
sponsorships, posting.
Engagement, talking to people, what building a community is like. And
I did like expos, fitness expos. So I used to go and like stand on a booth and like meet everyone all day. And so.
What I find about your time is that I remember when that sort of year period that I knew you between starting your YouTube, your travel YouTube, and us meeting, that little 1 year period before you came here and traveled, was how invested in you your community was, despite being, 2% of the size of your community now?
Oh, way less. Well, I have over 1 million followers across platforms now, and I only had my Instagram back then, which was like 20K.
So less than 2% of the size you had at that point in time.
It's 20,000 out of 1 million.
20K, 200,000 to 2 million. It was you're rough. Yeah,
it's like 0% or something.
It's 1% pretty much. Or 2%, I think. It is 2%. I was right.
I don't know.
It's 2%.
I can't do maths.
Anyway, of your size of your community, but that little community you built was so tight knit.
Yeah.
It did. For reference, when you did start a YouTube channel, which you'll talk about, but I'll just give this info now, it didn't help your travel YouTube channel at all because nobody cared.
It was also a brand new channel.
But I mean, like, it wasn't like you had, 20,000 people on your Instagram that were just like, oh, I can't wait to watch Josie's travels.
Oh, no, I started from scratch.
I mean, like, you couldn't just post on your Instagram and 20,000 people would go and watch. They didn't care about travel.
Because they cared about fitness.
And a lot of, sorry if anyone's listening, I find a lot of people who are so dedicated to the gym, their travel life just consists of Bali or Phuket, and then they don't really care.
Okay, let's not generalize.
I'm not generalizing, but I am. I think someone who is hardcore into the gym can't travel.
It's too hard. It's coming from someone who has done both. It's too hard to do both.
I went from a semi-professional athlete to a slob because I chose travel over sport essentially. Yeah. My point is that these people who were idolizing you for what you did in the gym didn't really care about what life looked like in Cambodia because they're only really going to go on a 10-day holiday to a beach destination, which is totally fine. However you want to travel and spend your money and time is totally fine. Whether it's a caravan park up the coast or it's a round the world trip, it's fine. But what my point is, it wasn't you just jump niches. It wasn't like you started a fitness channel and said, "Hey, everyone, come watch me get ready to be on stage or something," which you would have had 20,000 viewers off the bat if you did that. So yeah, you had that, but it gave you all the tools. And then we would lay in bed, watch travel YouTubers, and no disrespect to the ones that were traveling at the time during the pandemic, but we thought, this is really interesting and engaging content. I genuinely think we can do this better.
Yeah, I guess so, yeah.
Sorry, better's the wrong word.
Yeah, I was kind of just wanting to start it, really.
I genuinely think I can provide something different is probably the way. Better would be in your taste as to what you like to watch. Better is not an objective thing. Better is subjective. But you thought, I love what these guys are able to do. I think I can bring something different. And I think you did. And that resulted in you starting your YouTube channel pretty much 3 days before we left.
It was the day leaving was my first vlog.
Yeah.
Leaving. Packing up at our house, I'm pretty sure.
We stayed overnight at your mum's.
Going
so it was
to
kind of
get-
like a...
Oh, I guess over a day or two.
Did we stay overnight at your mum's?
I don't know. Anyway, my first thing was getting... I remember we were in the airport in Sydney.
Yep.
And we got room service. So it was getting there. And I remember we dropped your car, I think, off.
I can't remember how we...
I don't know
got
what
to
the
airport
first
on the
video
first day.
is. I don't know what the
I
first
know what
vlog is.
happened. Okay. People won't care. Sorry, I'm going to take 2 seconds to say this. We drove down to your mum's in my car. We picked up your stuff and said goodbye to your mum. We drove all the way back up to Newcastle Airport and picked up a hire car. And then we drove all the way from Newcastle
We didn't do that.
Airport down to Sydney Airport.
Why would we do that?
Because you had a hire car. We needed to take stuff from your mum's back up.
Oh,
And we drove
that's
the hire.
so dumb.
We drove the hire car from Newcastle because we had to drop my car home. For reference, Newcastle and Sydney are 2 hours apart. So we went Newcastle to Sydney for 2 hours, stayed the night, picked up all of your stuff, drove it back to my parents, drove up to Williamtown, 40 minutes north of Newcastle, to get the hire car, and then we drove the hire car down to Sydney Airport and stayed overnight, and then we flew out.
Okay, anyway, moving on.
And you vlogged that. That was your first vlog.
I think so.
Yeah.
I don't know, really remember.
And the
what it
flight.
is. I guess I don't know. I have to go back and have a look. But yeah, it was definitely in the Sydney airport. Staying overnight, waking up, being like, "Oh my god, I'm gonna travel today and leave for Thailand." And then we got to Thailand.
And it was very much
It was my first
girly lifestyle vlog.
first time in a business where you business where you eat food before you go. What's that called? Lounge. Yeah.
Jeez.
We don't do lounges often.
We don't do lounges ever. Big tip.
I can't afford
Lots
it.
of travel YouTubers do lounges because they have perks from all sorts of things. I promise you this, unless you're in a super first class lounge, often just going to the food court, finding a comfy seat with a plug next to it is better than the lounge, because I found that lounge food a lot of the time is crap. So unless you can have a shower, unless you can get...
Oh, the mac and cheese we had before we came out this time was
The
bomb.
Singapore lounge is good because you just get unlimited free drinks.
We don't even have drinks. We don't drink.
No, I meant like cans of Coke and stuff like that.
Oh, right, yeah.
Oh,
Coffee.
Coffees.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
if you're just flying, don't feel like it's not worth the money you pay unless it's included with your ticket.
Yeah.
Don't do it.
Anyway, so that's how I started my channel.
Yeah, sorry.
You go on tangents so bad. That's how we started.
Yeah.
So, and then from there we made vlogs in Bangkok, basically, because we landed in Bangkok.
And it was back in the day of the old Test and Go program, if you remember the name of that.
We left sort of in the end stages of COVID.
We left... End stages is probably the wrong word because it was still COVID
it was still
everywhere.
okay. In Australia, it was.
Well,
Oh, it wasn't, was it? No, it
wasn't.
kept going.
It was when international travel
Yeah.
resumed for Australia. We were probably 3 weeks later. We were out of there.
Yeah, true. Anyway, so that's how I started. And then, like you said, I from the video of being in Bangkok, that got like 20K. It was my first video in Bangkok. And then we made a few more from there. So I was lucky to be able to get monetized within like a week or two.
And that happens. You met a couple on the plane from Malaysia to Chiang Mai recently who their first video in Chiang Mai did very well and allowed them to be monetized.
No, Malaysia.
Sorry, in Kuala Lumpur. I meant to say Kuala Lumpur.
Yeah.
Their first video in Malaysia went well enough to allow them to be monetized. You
Disappeared
need
for
4,000
days.
watch hours. And if you, like, the way YouTube works now is vastly different to what the average person thinks YouTube works. I know people look at a channel like Drubinski with 3 million subscribers and 200,000 views and go, wow, that's a failed channel. But then he gets 20 million views. So you must be thinking, okay, how does that work? Do his subscribers care or they don't? YouTube doesn't show your video to subscribers anymore very often. So
it's all about returning viewers.
These days, you can hit lucky and get your monetization in your first video or two. It's way more common than it used to be. However, those 1,000 subscribers you get aren't guaranteed to see your next video.
Yeah. So it's all about being in someone's ecosystem, basically, of YouTube.
Yeah.
Of their YouTube.
So you were monetized in your first couple of videos.
Yep.
Which is really good. And then we got that sorted out, and it takes about 3 or 4 weeks for you to get all the paperwork done for monetization.
It took me a while, actually.
It doesn't just click over straight away.
It was especially hard for us because we were literally overseas. I think they send a letter to your house, and we didn't have a house. We were in Thailand.
Yeah, has to go to your mum, have to jump on FaceTime, you has to open it.
Yeah.
All this crap.
But if you're at home, it's easier.
So you can get approved monetization, but then it'll still take you another week or 2, maybe 3, maybe 4 to actually start getting paid for your content.
I know you mentioned that you have to have 4,000 watch hours. Did you mention 1,000 subs?
1,000 subs and 4,000 watch hours.
That's the criteria.
With the new ecosystem with shorts, which anyone telling you shorts aren't worth it is wrong. Shorts are 100% worth it. We can talk about that a little bit more. We might share, if you stick around to the end of the episode, we might share how much money you made last month from shorts, just to be a little transparent about that. What do you reckon?
Yeah, we'll send it a little bit later. Got to keep watching. Listening. Speaking of, real quick, we're going to start recording these with visual in the next couple of episodes, hopefully. So
maybe not the next one, maybe the next one, maybe not, but definitely
in the next
after
couple.
That, yeah. Anyway, so your monetization comes 2 or 3 weeks later, and for you, monetization wasn't. It was exciting.
I think my first.
It was exciting, but it's not significant.
I think my first check from YouTube was like $2.
But you don't get it until you get $100. They don't release money to you until you have $100 in your account.
I don't know how that's true because I got $2, I think. Oh no, I didn't. That's just what I got.
That's what you've earned, but YouTube won't pay you.
And then I didn't get it until I earned
100.
enough, in my wallet. Yeah, which took a while after that.
So you're looking at Josie as a travel creator hitting about 5,000 to 7,000 views a video on average at the very early stages. 4,000.
Yeah, I guess so.
If it was a bad video, it was about 4,000. And you were making about
$2?
$2 to $7 a video.
Oh, not a video. They were the short videos.
No, once you started hitting 7,000 views, like in the Chiang Rai video, I remember.
Okay.
And we'll get into this later. I know the numbers. I obsess over them. But yeah, that's where you were at with that. So, I guess that's your journey. Well, we can tell them about the next 6 months, I think, before we jump into helping solve some problems.
What a grind.
You hit your monetization after just a couple of episodes, I guess. Mm-hmm. And then from there, it's about thinking, okay, I've hit this major milestone. What's next? And what's next is to grow your channel. An outsider might think it's just to grow your channel, but it's really about getting really good at all the skills to have a YouTube channel. And that was the next 6 months for you. So you can let everybody know basically what your life was like between early February. That included when we went to Bangkok and came back to Chiang Mai. Early February till about June, I guess. When May 29 was the day your first video broke out and got 100,000.
How do you know that?
My brother's birthday was the day your first video went off. That's how I remember.
Which video was it? 100.
The KFC video.
Oh yeah.
It went crazy on my brother's birthday, and it's just a coincidence. That's how I remember it.
Yeah. Which, for reference, everyone was 2 weeks after we posted it.
2 weeks later, after we posted, it just randomly started ramping up, and it got to 100K.
Yeah. Well, I can sum it up in one word: editing.
Editing.
All I did for.
Well, I can no, because we did.
I mean, we
videos
filmed.
a week.
I know we filmed. We filmed. We edited. We filmed again. We edited again. Well, I edited. But it was back at the time. Back in that day, last year before now.
Yeah.
We were doing 3 to 4 videos a week, and basically filming, editing, and uploading.
4 to 8 minutes long.
Yeah. And I found it so hard, and it was so long to edit because I started on Premiere Pro, Adobe Premiere Pro.
Yeah, which because I have a
you had a subscription, and it was so unuser friendly. It's not even funny. It's so advanced.
I use it now to cut up my GoPro vlogs. I do nothing advanced with it whatsoever, so it doesn't feel like it's a bad thing. But I look at all the bells and whistles and think, I'm never going to bother learning this.
It's just hard. Like, and then it was in actual Bangkok. I remember we had an apartment in Bangkok.
Yeah.
Through this time, and all we did, we didn't even go out. We had an apartment.
It was the most horrible.
We filmed an apartment tour, and then I edited the whole entire time.
So what essentially for the first month, you uploaded 4 videos a week, and this is how big brained we were at the time. You uploaded Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and then didn't upload any other day.
Why did we do that?
For whatever reason in our heads, we thought daily vloggers upload every day, and that little bit of continuity must be what spurs them on. We can't do every day because it's just too much, but we could do 4 a week, which, by the way, is still too much. That's still like most YouTubers struggle to post twice a week.
Yeah, it was a lot of work.
Too much is doesn't mean you can't do it and shouldn't do it. Mm-hmm. We'll get to that later. Mm-hmm. But it is too much for the average person.
It was a lot of work.
If you want to grow quickly, you have to be more than the average person. That's just the way it works in any business. So you will go Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and then we kind of spent a month in Chiang Mai. We'd go up the mountain and film a video about riding the bike up the mountain. We went to Chiang Rai for 3 nights or 2 nights and filmed 3 videos in 3 days in Chiang Rai. We had lots of adventures, and it was
basically, for better term, we shitted out content.
But we didn't know any better.
No.
And some of them did really well.
I'm not saying it's a bad thing.
No, it's not a bad thing.
I'm just saying.
Yeah. And then, are you good?
No, pardon me. I got a tickle in my throat.
And then after that, we went to Bangkok, and we were so. I was working really hard on my business at this point as well.
Yeah.
Because it was coming out the other end of COVID, and my business like quadrupled during COVID, so we're coming out the other end of it. And you and I thought, absolutely fantastic idea. Let's make life easier, quotation marks, on ourselves. And instead of filming on the 3 off days and uploading on the 4 other days, because there were days where we would film in the morning and then we'd film a food video at night in the same day, we thought, let's film one day and then edit and upload that video the next day, and then film the next day. So we spent a month in Bangkok, and it feels like to me we never lived in Bangkok.
Yeah.
We lived in Pat Pong.
Yep.
Starbucks. Siloam Starbucks.
And we went there every day.
We went there every single day. We would work from night. I'd finish my phone calls back home to Australia at 10, and we'd go and sit there from 10 a.m. to 8 p.m. Yeah. Well, that one was only open till 8. And then if we had to, we would then walk up to, we call it Metro Town, but it's
because of your favorite soccer team.
It's the new mall in Siloam area. We would walk the 1.5 kilometers up to that.
And they were a 24/7 one.
And we would sit there until sometimes 3 or 4 in the morning.
AM. I remember I have a photo of it. I went to the bathroom at like 2:30, 3 a.m.
Yep.
And I took a picture. And I still remember the picture. And I was like, I can't believe I'm still editing at like 3 a.m.
I was so tired. I was just doing my work for my business at that point, and then also trying to like help you by researching and figuring things out and planning as well the video for the next day. I would plan the videos while you would edit the videos. So what we would end up doing is you would edit and work all day, go back to the room, have a shower and have dinner, walk up to the other Starbucks and work until 4 in the morning, come home, sleep for 4 hours. I'd get up at 8 and do my phone calls.
And I'd start editing.
And you would go and get breakfast for us. And then we wouldn't, you wouldn't edit. We would go out at 10 o'clock after phone calls and film the video, which is just as tiring. And then we'd come home that night and make a decision based on how much work you had to do. Do we go up and edit until 4 in the morning again, or do we go to sleep? So we would kind of just live off 4 hours sleep for like a month straight. Live off Grab, which is
we did it in Chiang Mai too. Just that, I remember that time being like that. Like that's all I remember from Bangkok.
Chiang Mai, we did the smart thing, and we got an apartment for 3 months within walking distance of a co-working space.
After this,
and that was after the month in Bangkok, and we chose the co-working space wisely.
And then guess what?
What?
We still kept working there until 4 a.m. in the morning anyway.
We did, but it allowed us to basically get a lot more work done. We knew we'd have a seat, and all of a sudden we weren't. I think it was after Bangkok that we kind of went to 3 days a week. Monday, Wednesday, Saturday.
Maybe, and I did that for
a year.
Yeah.
Monday, Wednesday, Saturday for a year.
And then it was
with no breaks.
no breaks.
Not even missing an
Nope.
episode.
And then a video.
A video, yeah.
And then I think
upload.
it was at the end of last year, which was end of 2022. We're now in like July 2023. It was end of last year. We went down to 2 videos after a year of doing that.
Yeah.
And then this only like basically in the last month, we've gone down to 1 video a week.
Well,
Roughly. We kind of do 1 to 2 at the moment.
I think 3 a fortnight is probably the
Yeah,
better
3
way
a
to
fortnight.
put it. And that only comes out of
And what? It's been a year and a half.
growing the knowledge enough to know that with the time you have, 3 or fortnight's about the right level for you to balance between income and work.
Yeah.
You don't need to do 4 because if you give yourself that extra time to do the 3, those 3 are better and they get results that would cover a rushed 4th video.
And to give you some...
But when you start, you don't have that luxury. You have to just get views.
Yeah, and to give you some context, at this point, I was still... Like, this is almost 6 months in, and I was still under, like, I was around 15,000 subscribers on YouTube or less.
29th of May, you were... just before the 29th of May, you were 5,000 subscribers.
Yeah.
29th of May came, and your KFC video went off, and we were like, okay, double down on this sort of content, because, like, that's what everyone tells you to do. Whether it was a mistake or not, we'll never know. Double down on this sort of content, and we just went food crazy.
I mean, I think it's hard because we're in Thailand, and I feel like Thai
Food's part of
is
the
so culture. It's part of the culture so much that it is hard to miss. But I do think that most people just say, "Oh, if I eat food, I'm going to get views in Thailand."
Definitely not.
Like, it's not like that.
Call out. We do on every episode. I remember a famous creator in their they did a podcast absolutely shitting on you and everybody else, saying, you know what, if I didn't just do my normal content, I just made food videos, I'd have 1 million subscribers in 1 year. And then,
if I went to another country,
Yeah,
blah,
if I
blah,
left the
blah.
country-
One country in particular.
the Philippines,
And then he was like, if I just went to the Philippines too.
they were like, not he was like.
Oh, well.
Then they went to that place, didn't get the subscribers they wanted, made about 4 food videos in a row. Their best friend also is a food creator.
It's a bit dodge, eh?
And basically dogged on him for saying all you have to do is to get food, because that, like, come on. Anyway, tried those things that didn't work for them. So still, if you make food content, it has to come from an authentic place. And Thailand for a newbie like you were at that time is a very good place to authentically feel happy about food.
So, for reference, you said that my May,
Yeah.
roughly, the end of May, I had about 5,000.
5,000.
And
I
by
remember running
Ju-
from our apartment down to the co-working space to film it going from 4,999 over to 5,000, but I ran down at 4,998 to do it. And if I did that now, we can refresh now and it would go up 2 every 10 seconds.
No, it goes up sometimes 10 or more.
Yeah.
Anyway, besides the point. So then that's the end of May, and then we left Thailand, and I do remember hitting about 20,000 at the start of July. So in the space of a month and a half, it was like went from 5,000 to 20.
Yep.
So that's to give you just some context on the growth and how slow it kind of was at the start, and then how much it kind of ramped up towards the end.
And you had a friend that you met in the co-working space who was a literature YouTuber,
Yeah.
and she said to you before everything happened, you just need 1 viral video and it will all kind of start for you. And to be fair to her, it did. You had one
Yeah.
video go off and then everything kind of rolled on from there. You made some really, really good series about trying the fruit, but unlike other creators who just eat the fruit, you kind of went out and found it.
Or like copy my video.
Oh, yeah, we had that video. If you find that fruit video of Josie's and you type that exact title into YouTube,
You'll find quite a
few.
few other videos and very scarily similar thumbnails.
and you
saying.
you'll see many people obviously noticed that was your kind of breakout series that you did when you would go to the market, buy things and try them as opposed to just try them, and then everyone just made that exact same video.
Yeah. So yeah, I guess that's a little bit of my start and the story of the start of my channel, really.
Yeah.
And yeah, it was all in Thailand to begin with, and then I think we both got an itch because you'd been to Thailand a million times before, and I think
was
we
very
both
happy
got
in Thailand, but
yeah,
I
we
needed
both
to get
love
out.
Thailand. We're here right now, but
Yeah.
you got an itch to go somewhere new.
Yep.
And I got an itch to vlog somewhere new. So we decided to go somewhere that neither of us had been before, because you had been to a lot of places over Southeast Asia.
I've been everywhere in Southeast Asia at this point, except for Brunei, Laos. No, I've been to Laos, Brunei, and the Philippines. I've been to Myanmar. I've been everywhere else in Southeast Asia.
I haven't gone there yet.
And I think at that point in time, I loved Thailand. I could live here full time, but there was just something in me that was like, all right, we're kind of filming like the same sort of content every time now. We're going out and going to the market or going to like some weird food place, and then we kind of weren't, whether we meant to or not, we really put ourselves in a position where we couldn't keep making the same content and forced ourselves to grow as strategists and content creator, as you for yourself, by leaving the country. It was the best thing we did, regardless of if it was successful or not. It needed to happen. Otherwise, it would have stayed in that pattern and you would have been a food vlogger in Thailand.
Which I wanted a lot more. Like, not that that's a bad thing, but like I just wanted to do a lot more things with... I just want to travel. Like, I want to travel as a person, and I feel...
Food's part of that, but it's not everything.
Food is part of that, but my point is that I want to travel, so that's what I'm just going to film myself traveling.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to film to make YouTube videos. I want to travel and make YouTube videos of that.
Yep.
But I guess we could share, if someone's starting their channel, sort of what they can do for their first, I don't know, 50, 100, first batch of videos.
Yeah.
What are some tips that we could give them in order to get their channel off the ground?
Just to qualify us both at this point in time, if you're listening to this and don't know who we are, I think it's important to say that there's not two schmucks giving you some advice here.
There's two other introduction and update videos they can go and listen to.
Just briefly, if you're hearing this or someone's sharing it with you, Josie is a YouTube creator.
I'm a full-time content creator, yeah.
With over 700,000, 740,000 as per this recording on YouTube. 60 to 100 million views a month in the last few months. That fluctuates, so don't stress too much about a view number, but 700,000, and the channel's only 18 months old. So that's pretty great. Well done. And then 1 million total on other platforms.
Over now by a bit.
I myself am an online business owner, and my strengths have always been in strategy and building businesses and growing things, and YouTube is the perfect little ground for me to learn and sponge information, and then kind of have Josie's budding channel as my place to experiment and see if things work, and that makes us a good little team when it comes to giving advice about content. Everything about creating the video, your on-screen, your on-camera persona, being authentic, sharing your message, how to edit a video in a certain way with a certain pacing or whatever you might need to do. Josie's obviously still learning at all times, but she's the expert on that, and then I'm able to kind of give the I guess back-end information on some things you can do. You can never trick the algorithm, but there's some things you can do to be favorable with algorithms and growing your business and those sorts of things. So that's kind of where we qualify ourselves. Is I personally think it's okay to pat ourselves on the back and say we must be pretty good at what we do to have your channel be where it is now.
I mean, yeah.
Like you have to give credit humbly and understand a lot of luck goes into YouTube, but
a lot of hard work has too, and I think that I don't think people understand how much work actually goes into it. If you saw my day to day, like, yeah, humbly requesting that I can accept my hard work being acknowledged.
Don't they say success lies at when luck meets preparation or whatever? If you're not ready and capable when you have your lucky moments, then you will never be successful, basically.
Yeah.
And that's what you were. And the reason you were, we'll tie into the first one, is because in your first 6 months of YouTube, you probably created 70 videos.
I think it was a bit more than that, but around there. There's a lot, like I said earlier, of like just making a shit ton of videos.
Yep.
And I think that would be part of my advice is make your first 100 videos and post them.
And I'll use my mantra that I've said to a lot of people in the last week. Done is better than perfect. You have no right to be a perfectionist in your first year of YouTube.
Yeah.
Because being a perfectionist is something that is left for a master or someone who has perfected their art. Don't be a perfectionist. Get something to 80% good and post it, because 380% videos a week is going to propel your channel significantly further than 100% channel a week.
Or even
video a week.
Or even 3
50%
No,
of us.
no, 3 no videos a week. Because
Yeah.
if you focus and procrastinate or try so hard to make something perfect, sometimes you don't post anything at all.
You're never going to have a viral video because you've over-edited it to the point of perfection. Viral videos well, not viral, but breakout videos for your channel. So as a new creator, your first 1,000 view video feels like a breakout. Then your 10,000,
Yeah.
then your 50,000, yada. Those videos.
And now my million view videos
yeah.
feel like a breakout.
Yep. Those videos don't come from perfect editing. They often come from everything just clicking and working out well. And as I said before, that's that luck, but you're prepared to capitalize on that luck. And you will be a significantly better filmographer and vlogger if you have made 50 videos and then a moment
Or more.
happens and you go, I know how to capture this perfectly.
That's the thing.
But if you only made 5 videos in 5 weeks, you don't know how to capture it perfectly.
You don't know how to capture, you don't know how to film, you don't know how to edit,
Yep.
nothing. It's like getting ice skates for the first time, getting on the ice and expect to be a figure skater.
Yeah.
Like you have to put the hours into learning to do that first.
The only caveat I will say is if your content is beautiful edits.
Oh yeah, if you're already good at that. I wasn't. I'm still not.
If you're making travel content that is like about beautiful edits with perfect audio and the main purpose of your channel is how good your edits are, then you can be a perfectionist because that's your content. But if you're a travel vlogger or you're making guide videos or you're making how to get a visa in this country videos, it doesn't need to be a masterpiece. I would often say that many times you lose the message when you're trying to create a masterpiece and you lose the authenticity. If I'm watching a video and I want to see what Niman Chiang Mai looks like in 2023, I don't really need to see 100 static shots of a tuk-tuk going by with a ring on a bell noise in the background. I just want you to walk around and show me what it looks like. That's what travel vlogging is. So my point of that is that you can have significant success with average videos. Volume, quantity is definitely better than quality when you first
I
start.
feel like at the start for sure. It's a massive tip.
I'm gonna call Josie out here.
What?
If you want to know what we mean, go and watch Josie's Chiang Mai Zoo video.
No, please, no, don't. No,
crap.
why'd you do that?
It's
It's
crap.
horrible. Please don't. You honestly, you'll click off and it'll hurt my CTR. My average view duration.
It's crap, but
It's the worst video.
we took.
And I thought it was so good. Oh my gosh, I'm so cute. Like I was like, I was like, I'm so good. This is such a cute little thing. I think I
Yeah.
put like text on the screen, like cool music, and like, now I cringe like when I see it because it's just so badly edited.
We took the bike, we filmed, you had the GoPro going on the bike. You were slowly learning the concept of like people like to see the journey, so I'm going to film riding there, not just being there. Whereas many people would say, hello, today I'm at Chiang Mai Zoo and I'm going to show you all the animals. Here's all the animals. Goodbye. You were like, you know what, people might want to see us riding through the streets of Chiang Mai, so I'll show them that.
I think it was also, I remember us going to buy the tickets.
Yeah.
I showed how
You
much
shared the
a
ticket
price was or
process.
something. I was like, oh, this is cool.
But you may not have learnt that if that was the third video you did in your third week because you're only doing one video a week.
Yeah.
That's my point. You were able to learn from your mistakes, and then whilst the Chiang Mai Zoo video is crap, it would have been a whole lot worse if you hadn't already made 25 videos and had learned from your mistakes previously.
So I guess as well, the first thing is to post. I know that there's so many people who have asked me what to do, what to
Yeah.
start, and I'm like, just start.
I don't feel like my videos are good enough.
Yeah,
Well, you
just
know
post
what?
it.
Any video is better
Better
than
than no video. Yeah, exactly.
Post
so
a video.
the thing is to start. Ain't nothing to it but to do it. That's what I say.
Can I say, I spoke last week about how I've got my vlog channel or whatever.
Or whatever.
Okay, whatever. So in my first vlog, I walk down the street and mumble things and try and stay out of people's way so no one can see that I'm vlogging. And I posted it and it got 27,000 views or something.
You fool went down the street to get away from me to do your little vlog. It was
Because
so
Josie
cute.
was laughing at me and put me on her Instagram story.
It was funny.
But my point is, I posted it.
Yeah.
And even though I can tell you right now, it'd be one of the worst vlogs you ever watch. It got views because people found it interesting just looking at what was in the background, looking at the food I was eating. And I didn't need to make it perfect. You don't need to perfect anything to do that. So post. And here's the best part. At the end of 50 videos, you'll have some subscribers. You'll have some people that like your personality. You'll have some people that are happy to see you get better every time you post a video. And you'll be someone who can say, I have shot, edited, and uploaded 50 YouTube videos. Straight away, you're better. You're in the exact same spot experience-wise as a YouTuber that posted a video every week for a year.
And
you've done it in 12 weeks, I'm pretty sure it ends up being.
Yeah, true.
12 weeks. If you do it 4 days a week, 12 weeks. If you do it,
good point.
If you do it every day, less than 2 months.
Yeah, true.
And it can be 5 minutes of you walking up the road to buy a coffee and talking about what you think.
It's your practice.
It's your mastering your art. Can I sit down at the piano and play a song straight away? No. How do I feel after I practice it 50 times? I can probably play the song. If I practice every single day, I'm going to get there faster.
Yeah.
Same thing. So that's probably the biggest advice is just post. Don't care about how good it is or how bad it is, because I'll tell you this right now, a bad performing video doesn't matter on YouTube anymore because the very next one could be a good one. It used to matter. A bad video used to matter. Doesn't matter anymore. Every video is treated differently by the algorithm.
And yeah, independently of itself.
Yep.
Yeah. So
just post.
Just
create. And even if you're scared of posting, just create, and then find the courage to post if you want to.
Yeah, definitely. So that's basically how
Actually, before that goes on, for the algorithm, little insight, it'll also help you to post lots of videos, because YouTube cares about how long someone watches YouTube for when they watch a video. So if I make a video and it's so horrible that someone goes, ugh, I don't even want to watch YouTube tonight, closes out, I can't find anything good, closes out of YouTube and then jumps on their phone and goes on TikTok, that's worse than them leaving my video and going to someone else's video. So if you've made them happy, they might watch a couple of other YouTube videos on the subject that aren't by you. YouTube will still give you a little boost for keeping someone happy and keeping them on the platform. So if you have 4 or 5 videos from 4 or 5 days in a row, and someone finds you on day 3 and then they go back and watch day 1 and day 2, you've kept someone on the platform for 3 videos instead of 1. So you have an advantage there. Whereas if you've only got 1 video up a week and someone finds you and there's not much content for them to go and watch, you've got less of a chance of them browsing around your back catalogue and giving you watch time and making YouTube like you. So more videos.
So what would you say would be a tip for getting discovered at that stage?
Being discovered, other than just posting and being authentically yourself, which I think is the main one, we know that regardless of what level of YouTube you're at, let's say, I'm going to go ahead and say you don't need to worry about being discovered until you're at least 30 or 40 videos in.
Yeah.
Just make your content.
Yeah.
Be authentic. What would I do if I was a regular traveler here without a camera? Great. Now I'm going to bring a camera. Don't say, oh, I'm going to go and eat a scorpion at the night market, because if you wouldn't eat a scorpion at the night market without a camera, then you're lying.
So would you definitely, but
40 to 50 videos, a little bit of traction, 500, 600 subscribers, maybe you got 1,000 by now, maybe you got 2,000 by now. Now you can start thinking about, I want to break out and be discovered a little bit.
So would you say it would be beneficial to start with videos or subjects or topics that are highly searchable at the start?
I wouldn't stress about that in the first
good answer.
Start. At the start, I would say just be authentic and create videos and find your voice, and don't copy people, and don't think that here's the thing. If you make a video if you see a big creator make a video and you try and make the same video as that, and that's not an authentic video to you and what you actually would like to do, you put yourself in a position where, what if that's the one that breaks out and gets 1 million views? Then all of a sudden you're in the algorithm of all these people that expect content from you that you don't like to make.
Yeah.
You were kind of lucky that the one that broke out for you was food in Thailand, and that's what you like to do in Thailand.
I love to eat in Thailand.
But to give you credit,
that's true all the way.
Your videos weren't, like I see many creators do, the same thumbnail and title, but put the camera and just let it roll for 10 minutes while they eat. Your videos were a vlog, going and finding the food, and eating it was part of the experience, not the whole experience. And that allowed you,
Yeah.
That allowed you to kind of pass on to more, I guess, vlogging content in the future.
Yeah. And I think at that point you would probably think about monetization. So what thing...
Oh, well, what was about breaking out?
Oh, I thought you just did that. You said just...
No, so don't bother in your first 30 to 40, but you still might be on your way to 1,000 subscribers after 30 or 40, and then you can start thinking about breaking out. And that's when you might think about, I still want to do authentic things. I just want to give this tip. That's why I kind of cut you off there. I want to give this tip. And that's, you should be looking at what's a remarkable thing that you can do. You don't have to go and jump out of a plane naked and something like that. And,
although
I'd
watch that.
That'd probably work.
Send me the link.
Yeah, but you might wanna be like, hey, you know
Please
what?
don't, by the way.
It's significantly cooler if I want to go and visit this place. How about I take a road trip to get there and show that process? That's a bit more remarkable than someone that just flies there and makes a video about it. I'm just not that exact idea. Don't quote me on that, but I mean, how can I make this idea that I have for a video remarkable? And by remarkable, I mean not the same as the other 1,000 people that have made the same video. Especially now, because I'm sorry to say that creators that are starting now, you're 2 years behind everybody else who was able to come out after COVID and make content. You're 2 years behind everybody else.
Yeah, but like you could say I was 2-3 years behind everyone making content in COVID.
Totally. No, totally. You're an outlier. You're an outlier. Lots of people that we watch from this time are still closer to the start of their journey, which you are too. But what I mean is like, it's not normal to be on 700,000 subscribers after 18 months. So we
740.
can't 740. So we can't say that that's where you should be. Don't set that expectation for yourself. And that's not saying that Josie's better. It's just saying that don't set the expectation of after 18 months this is where I'll be. To set the expectation of getting better every time you make a video, and eventually you'll get there. Whether you get there on day 18 months or you get there in, 8 years, you're still going to get there if you keep getting better every time you make a video.
I feel like as well, like YouTube is almost it's just who keeps posting videos.
I said this to you at the start. The winner on YouTube is not the first person to hit a milestone. It's the person who's still there.
Yeah.
Because we've watched creators drop off. We've watched creators drop off and come back. We've watched people. It's whoever's still there. If you're still there making videos and you can make it work, then you're successful.
Yeah.
Regardless if you've got 10,000 subscribers or 1 million subscribers.
So I feel like at that stage, at the start of your journey, like if I could do the whole monetization process differently, like I'd probably do so much more. Because like you just don't know what you're doing when you're that young on your channel.
Monetization?
Yeah.
So you're talking about
just being ready for
alternative outside of just the ads.
Yeah, I mean, if we started that that's probably my biggest regret. I feel like I would look back if not, my advice to anyone starting is to like, just I don't know, monetize. Like I feel like we could have done so much more and so much more
viewers,
quicker.
That doesn't mean like trying to find ways to snake oil money out of viewers. Like just
What?
providing, like snake oil is like when you sell someone something they don't need and pretend it's good.
Oh yeah, a lot of people do that. Don't be that guy. But like
when you might take a sponsorship about something that you have literally no idea about and pretend you have an idea about, like art investing or something like that. Huh?
Well, I feel like
a lot of YouTubers do work with a specific company, and like the company's pretty dodge, and none of them knew what they were talking about.
It's a ethical, moral line for me.
Yeah, you do whatever
the
hell you want, but we don't mean taking every opportunity to make money. You mean like having merch ready because people have asked about it.
Like merch, like things to sell a friggin' mug. I don't know. Like just you're gonna have people that watch you at that point. Obviously, you've just got subs.
There are people that care about you at 5,000, just not as many of them who care about you at 500. But there are people who care about you and want to, like, they like you. They want to support you, and you should give them ways to do that. That's just beyond donating money or watching the video.
Yeah. Yeah. So that would be my thing. Like being ready for monetization is just something that it's hard to do when you have no idea what to do.
We definitely left 5 figures on the table by not being ready with different monetization streams for your big boom in the last 6 months.
Oh, we've lost a lot of money by not having
being
anything ready.
So if you
I don't
think
have-
I'm not a big enough creator to have all my extra monetization streams set up, so income streams, so let's say you want to sell merch, let's say you want to sell cameos, like you want to sell stories, you want to sell tours, you might be someone that, I know YouTubers that like specifically are in a certain city, and that's the city that they want to hang out in, and they know everything about that city. You can sell a tour of that city, and you come with me, and I'll show you around. That sort of thing. If you want to have, if you any idea that you have for your channel, have your monetization ready before. Like, don't think I'm not ready to sell this yet because no one will care. If you start your merch and no one buys merch for the first 3 months, don't stress. You don't know when your first video is going to go off.
Yeah.
And you won't have the time to go and start all those revenue streams.
Yeah.
When you're trying frantically to get back to comments, handle sponsorship inquiries coming in, handle, getting your next video ready and making sure it's of the right
filming
quality,
a video, editing
filming,
a video,
staying. When a video goes off and
emails.
you've got no videos in the bank, well, you better get out there and film 2 or 3 so you can start to get ahead.
Yeah, exactly.
Yada, yada, yada. 2-3 months later, you haven't got any monetization set up. Do it before you're ready, if that makes sense.
Yeah, for sure. That's a great idea. I feel like I've definitely, like, still to this day,
We could have done it in the first 6 months.
Still to this day, ad revenue is my only.
Sponsorships.
Well, not many.
Very minimal.
It's probably like a 90 to 95% of my income, and that is a regret of mine, for sure.
Yeah, because realistically...
Or a missed opportunity, at least. Many missed opportunities.
You had so much information to share because 100,000 subscribers in your first 10 months on YouTube. Right?
115,000, but yeah, who's counting?
No, that was in the first year. Your first
Yeah.
10 months was... I said 10 months.
Oh, did you? My bad.
There's 12 months in a year, Josie.
There is, yeah. I had a little math problem there.
In your first 10 months, you hit 100,000. Now, that's before shorts happened.
Yeah.
That's entirely long-form content.
Yeah.
That is at a time when there are creators making similar content to yourself that didn't hit that number and had been doing it for 2 years longer than you had, right?
Yeah.
Again,
Even if they
numbers
unlist all their
aren't an
old
indication
videos,
of-
so it doesn't look like they actually have old videos.
Yeah, people unlist their old videos so you don't know how old their channel
That's
is.
so lame.
And then they say, well, I've been making content for 2 years. It's like, I watched your content 3 years ago.
And now it's not on your channel.
Yeah.
That is the lamest. That is the lame.
It's a lame.
That is the lamest of lames.
But like it took you 10 months to get there. And from where I sit, I think that is a lot of learning in 10 months. And we both sponged the hell out of it. That's why we were able to do it.
Yeah.
And we had so much we could have given people in the last 6 months of help, like, that we just didn't set ourselves up for and get ready for. And we had the time. We were just burnt out from making so many videos, so we didn't do it. And I think both of us kind of a little bit were like, are we ready to do merch? Are we ready to do all this? 100,000 subscribers and like 12 million views. Yeah, it was time to do merch.
Yeah, so dumb.
And then we went to India and 100 million views a month and like 10 million people from countries, or was it like 100 million views a month, but like probably like 15 to 20% of them were outside of India. That's 20 million people.
Yeah.
Not saying the Indians wouldn't buy your stuff, but you work on markets.
Yeah.
Many would have. Many asked you directly for things. You probably had, I would say, 10 million people in that 100 million that would have considered buying something from you, and we didn't have anything there for them.
Yeah, so that's, I think...
What could it have been?
Yeah, I don't want to know.
It could have been 6 figures.
I think I'm going to cry.
And we weren't ready.
And for your information, I asked a question box, and yeah, look, I had someone. It was for my second channel. I started a second channel as well now. It's my second video,
which is a good revenue stream, a good second monetization and revenue stream to start.
which I've only just started.
Well, I think it's the right time to start it is now when you've hit a rhythm with one channel.
Yeah, true. It was too much
Don't
if I
start
did
it
it
too
any
early
earlier.
because also there's no point. You're still working on getting your first channel to where it needs to be.
Yeah, but
Unless you got 2 different niches.
Yeah, true.
If you're like, I'm going to do DIY videos on this and I'm going to do fixing car videos on this, then have 2 different channels from the start.
Yeah. I forgot my point now because you're talking about 2 different channels.
You
too
started a
much.
second channel and someone asked you something in a question box.
Oh, yeah. They were like, is it true that you're making like, it was like 30 grand or something, or whatever Social Blade said?
Social Blade.
And I was like,
Social Blade
and I was
says
like,
that
I
Josie
wish.
makes $2.9 million a year. That's what Social
Bruh,
Blade says. that
I
you
wouldn't
make.
be in a cheap apartment in Thailand if I was earning $2 million a year. I'll tell you that much.
Oh my god.
I'd be in a bloody mansion
For reference,
in
That's-
Greece or something. I don't know.
for reference, million is 7 figures, you're not earning 6 figures from YouTube.
No. I'm not even earning half of 6 figures.
What, 3 figures? $100?
I don't know. In case you can't tell from this podcast, maths isn't my strong
You're
point.
earning about what an entry-level full-time job in Australia is.
Less than.
No, about that.
We're talking about ad revenue. We've been talking about that.
Okay, yeah. But anyway. No,
It's less than a livable. It's less than a livable wage in Australia.
Social Blade is wrong because Social Blade banks on the fact that every viewer you have is in a high. So if I make a video tomorrow about investing and I get 10,000 views in that video, I will get $20 to $40 per 1,000 views RPM. If you make a travel video, your RPM will be anywhere from $1 to $5.
Yeah.
So that's per 1,000 views. So if I make an investing video, Josie needs 8 times the amount of views I get to make the same amount of money. So those websites like Social Blade are measuring off high RPM industries.
And also just alcohol. They're drunk. This is just so inaccurate.
It's so well, the numbers are right, but the money's so far off.
While we're here, we did promise to tell people a little bit about what I earned from Shorts because the whole time, Shorts only got monetized in February this year, and we're in July.
Obviously means that they can put ads on them and the creator can earn money from the ads.
So prior to February 2023, I didn't get paid a dime, I'm not American, a cent for Shorts.
Yeah.
And you just didn't get paid for them. You got paid for your long form.
You posted them because you thought it helps grow your channel.
Which you didn't back then. Shorts were abysmal.
There was like a week when Shorts first came out where any short you posted we didn't do it, but people were getting millions of views on their shorts for the first week of Shorts.
So encourage people to post Shorts,
and then
I would
all
assume.
of a sudden Shorts just died off. And I actually wonder if those views even existed or if they just popped those views on people's...
To make you post Shorts.
To make you post Shorts.
But either way, so nothing. And then so we've only started getting paid from February. And the only reason... I mean, I spent a long time earning like 80 cents to $1 from one short.
Yeah.
Like a long time.
Yeah, $1 a short, basically.
Maximum sometimes.
Because to let you guys know, the RPM on a short is 1 to 10 cents per 1,000 views.
Yeah, it depends on a lot of things. It's not a hard and fast number.
Well, no, 1 to 10 cent. I'm saying like 10 cents the highest I've seen, 1 cent's the lowest I've seen. About 2 to 5 cents is the average.
So put it this way, just because I'm just going to tell you guys how much I earned from them last month because you told them that we would towards the end of the podcast.
Well, I think it's important to be transparent, and people here in their first 1,000 subscribers, you don't just need to get 4,000 hours watch time. You can get your monetization through getting 10 million views on Shorts, which we thought was impossible.
In 3 months, though.
And then and you're getting 100 million a month.
Yeah. Well,
my point is for people that we thought 10 million in 3 months, that's absolutely impossible. And then it's not impossible. It's actually quite possible if you're consistent and you post regularly and your niche is good and your content's good and your content stands up and people like it, then 10 million in 90 days is actually not that much views for Shorts.
So take into consideration the fact that this month in particular was when we were putting out Indian content from Shorts from India when we were there, and it was my biggest month of revenue. What?
Caveat: India doesn't have TikTok.
I'm about to say that. If you let me finish.
Spoiler alert.
I was telling them that we were in India, and
Yes.
India doesn't have TikTok. So TikTok's banned.
Yep.
So the people who are scrolling TikTok, which is pretty much the rest of the world,
Yeah.
where
you were getting millions and millions of views on TikTok before.
I was already getting millions of views on TikTok. So the same,
But not getting paid for it.
No, I don't get paid a cent. From my TikTok.
Only certain countries get paid from TikTok, and Australia is not one of them.
So you've got the country with the highest population of people, with billions of people in India, and they're like not scrolling.
Cheap internet. All got smartphones.
Cheap internet, smartphones. No one's scrolling TikTok because that's not a thing. It's banned. So they're only short form.
And no one's
content.
scrolling Reels because it's Reels.
Yeah. Was that a joke? Why are you laughing?
No one likes Instagram Reels.
Yeah. Is the only place you get short form, which is all the craze, is Shorts. YouTube. So yeah, my
Perfect
Shorts
storm.
went really well, and I ended up earning more than I earned in my first 8 months making YouTube videos in 1 month, which was like 2.7 or 2.8 thousand Australian dollars.
Yeah.
So
which is just from Shorts. We're not talking about the I think about 4 million, 3 to 4 million, no, probably 2 to 3 million views a month of long form views, which pay significantly more, which pay 10 to 100 times what short form pays.
So if you're in USD, it's like just under between $1,800 and $1,900 for
just for
USD.
posting shorts. And the shorts, for reference, if you're a creator, Josie's not sitting down creating shorts concepts and ideas from scratch. They're memorable moments.
They're just
from
things from my long videos, yeah.
Which anyone can do.
What, repost things from their long video?
Totally.
I mean, anyone can make creative shorts too.
Yeah, but I mean, like, if you're a creator sitting here now thinking, okay, you've just told me to post 4 videos a week, how the hell am I also going to sit down and come up with all these ideas for shorts?
True.
You can just pull them from your long form. They don't even have to be particularly interesting. Sometimes something can just pique the interest of people. I'm going to give 2 examples right now.
Okay.
You posted a video where you asked a guy how to say thank you in Hindi, and he gave you the answer of how to say thank you in Urdu, and that made enough people in the comments say that's not how you say it. Now, you had no idea what the answer was, so this was not on purpose from you.
Yeah.
It just worked out, this little moment, and in your head, you're just sharing a video that is you asking someone how to say thank you. That is literally the video.
Yeah.
Which, if you think, how boring is that concept? Well, turns out 6 to 7 million views later, it's not a boring concept, and people would comment all sorts of things on that. The little most innocuous things can happen. And then you had a short that you posted 6 months ago from Cambodia, Daru selling his beer. And then once you went to India and your video started going off, well, it turns out this man in Cambodia's name is Daru, and he sells beer. And then the Indian viewers found your shorts, and the word Daru, this man's name, means beer in Hindi.
Oh, that's so actually so funny now that I think about it.
Because imagine if you, as an Australian, were in Cambodia and you see this guy selling beer and you're like, what's your name? And he goes, beer. That's
so funny.
So Indians are like watching this video, and then all of a sudden you're like, oh, what have you got? And he's like, I've got Anchor beer. And then
I didn't think
what's your name? Beer.
I didn't think about that. Like,
that's why
they're hearing him say beer if it was my name.
But such an innocent moment of you just buying a beer and some food from this little market, and it's got 10 million views.
Yeah, I think it's just
post. Who
just
cares?
Post.
It doesn't do well.
Just post.
And with shorts, you can easily if you're making 4 videos a week at 5 to 10 minutes a video, you've got at least 2 shorts out of each video you can make and post them every day.
Yeah, easily, for sure. So hopefully you're posting your first YouTube video now, if you're listening.
Yeah, if you're listening to this and you've got through this gibberish for an hour and you're thinking what I have to do, let's round it up for you.
Post something.
You have your channel created and things aren't going well for you, or you haven't got your channel created and you want to start tomorrow, whatever. Things are in a rut for whatever reason. Tomorrow, you get your camera, or today if you're listening to this in the morning or whenever you get the next chance to film. You go out and you film and you just document whatever the hell you're doing that day, and you can ham it up for the camera and make it interesting, or you can just be yourself. It's up to you however you want to do it, but be authentic in whichever way. If you're a natural entertainer, entertain, be authentic. Film, edit, upload.
Press that publish button.
And do it again tomorrow, and do it again the next day. If you're a travel creator, your content is made for you because you're doing something that 99% of the world wants to do, which is travel. And something as simple as walking to 7-Eleven and picking a ham and cheese toastie and telling the lady, yes, please, I would like it toasted, and then talking about how good it is while you walk back to your apartment in Thailand and buy some fruit on the way home is interesting to everyone who wants to travel to Thailand, even if it's your reality every day.
Yeah.
So post every day regardless of what you do, and if you're a travel creator, you have less excuses than anyone that's at home working their job because everything you do every day is interesting.
Yeah. There you go.
You have no excuse. Post, and I promise you in 6 months' time, even if you don't have the subscribers, you'll have the skills, and then you can start to strategize, which in a future episode we'll talk about what 1,000 to 10,000 and 10,000 to 100,000 look like, and you can wait for those episodes.
Yeah, in the future.
But post, and then you'll have all the skills to start actually strategizing and launch yourself further.
So while we're talking about pressing buttons, make sure you press the follow button on our podcast if you like it. If not, I'm not sure why you're here after an hour and 3 minutes, but anyway, press the follow button. And yeah, we'll be doing episodes on Fridays.
Do you want to tell them about coaching?
I mean, it's not launched yet.
It's not launched yet, but we'll have a form in the YouTube description of this. I'll have a form set up when this goes live.
What if they're listening on Spotify?
If you're listening on
people are
Spotify, you can go to YouTube, you can type in the Layover Podcast, or you can go to Josie's Instagram bio and tap through to the Layover page and go to the YouTube from there.
It's linked in the description of this episode.
Find our YouTube podcast. In the description of that podcast and in the pinned comment will be a link to a Google form that you can fill out. And that form is an expression of interest if you would like coaching from us on YouTube. And that's for any level, any creator that needs help. You can have not started your channel. You can have started your channel. We are offering one-off consultations, but also 3 months and 6 months mentorships. And the idea is to just help you through the process we just talked to you about and hold your hand through it, I guess, but not to tell you what to do, but to help you shape your own direction with our expertise as a fallback while you do it. Us helping you not make the mistakes we made, which can also accelerate that 3 month and 6 month process faster than we even did it, I think, if you do things the right way.
Yeah, but I don't have time to help like 1 million people, so it's only limited to a few numbers as well.
Yeah, that's important to say. So this isn't we're not launching a coaching program here where you're going to have, virtual assistants helping you and Josie's managing them or whatever. This is directly Josie and I working with you. And we're taking on an absolute maximum. I think 4 is the limit we're setting ourselves at the moment.
Yeah, I think 1 or 2 already.
There's already 1 or 2 spots taken, so there's only, but which means there's only 2 spots left at this point in time.
I just want to give everyone like adequate attention, and because I'm still running the channel and everything else, I just don't have time to spend that. If people are investing their money in us, in me, then I need to be able to give them as much of my time as I can. If you have 20
clients at a time, then you're spreading yourself too thin and no one's getting your attention. So it's definitely set up to be a scenario where you're the only one you're one of a very small number that is sharing the attention, I guess.
But yeah, that will be in the linked of the podcast, but on YouTube. So make your way over there, and it's just an application form. It does not mean that I can accept you, but it's an expression of interest, and we can get in contact with you if we need to from there.
It'll mean that we can look and see if you're a good fit to work with us as well, because business tip, as you guys grow your businesses, when you look for sponsorships, anyone you work with, the person that you're working with, regardless of if they're giving you money or not, has to be the right fit for your business. Otherwise, no one's getting value. Neither of you are getting value out of that scenario. So even though someone might pay you for your services, if they're the wrong client for you, they're not going to get a product that helps them, and you're not going to have a good experience working with them. It's not worth it for anyone. So when you apply, we'll have a look. We'll see if you're a good fit. If you're a good fit and we have the spots left, if you're fast enough, we'll get back to you and we will start to make those contacts and start to help you, I guess, make that journey towards monetization, towards 10K, towards 100K, towards 500K, whatever's coming next for you. We can help you get towards that one-off to set you up, or I recommend 3 to 6 months to get yourself to where you want to get to.
All right. Well, like and subscribe. It's not a YouTube channel.
If you are on YouTube, like, subscribe,
yeah,
comment.
True. If you're watching on YouTube.
If you're on Spotify, for some reason we didn't know it does this. It asks you what you thought of the episode.
Oh no, it can be different questions as well. It doesn't have to. I don't think it's always give you feedback, but if it does say that, reply to it. I like it. I got 2 people comment on our last one, so that was really cool. I think one of them's name was John. I can't remember, but thanks, John, if you're listening.
And enjoy your journey, whatever level of YouTube you're on, whether we hear from you again or we never hear from you, because it's a lot of fun, and those moments, the first 6 months,
so worth
you'll never get them back, and they're so much more fun than you realize they are, because you're just creating and having fun without the burden. It's the best time for your YouTube channel.
It is. It really is.
It's the most fun. So enjoy it.
And we'll see you next Friday.
Bye.
Bye.
Nice note.
See you later, alligator. Okay, bye.
Cringe.